Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Mano Bahara. We're getting things started here. I'm joining you from Chicago. This is almost a bright and sunny day here in the Windy City. And I'm glad to be speaking to you all today. Please use the chat box to introduce yourself and tell us where you are joining from. I see some of you have already joined the chat room. Let me check that. Uh, Amy Maldonado from Tampa, Florida. Chef Amy, welcome. Welcome from Tampa, Florida. So, as a matter of fact, Florida is my. I went to school in Florida, so my again home school state. So glad to have you. Those of you who are on the chat, if you would please, mention your name, your city where you're joining from, and a thing about maybe your business. What do you do? And I'm sure you're connected to the restaurant industry. But love to know about you. We have a few minutes to kind of get things kicked off, and we will kick off sharp on time. So please mention in the chat box your details so we get to know who we are speaking to. We are also doing something really cool from a technology standpoint. Those of you who know about Periscope, we are actually streaming this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a quick second and start that stream. So if you will, go ahead, please, and mention your name, city, and the chat box. And you should be seeing my video. If not, I have to click a button. Actually, I'm going to drop a message on the chat area towards that. But as I'm doing that, please give me a moment while I go ahead and start the Periscope video streaming. It is an app on iPhone for people who are mobile and not in front of a computer maybe, and it's a good option to kind of join us. So we are actually doing this for the first time, not the first time, the second time to be technically right. So let's go ahead and let me allow me to do that. Okay. Okay, great. So we are on the webinar on the computer, as well as we are on Periscope. So if you would please confirm on Periscope if you are able to hear me and see me, I would appreciate that. Great. Here in the chat, okay, we have Kavi X, owner of Root PR from Boulder, Colorado. Welcome. Glad to have you on the webinar. And we are all set to go. And just to give a little introduction on our friends in Periscope, what's going on rather, because I want to make sure I understand that we are doing this webinar on Periscope literally for the first time. And we regularly do webinars on the computer through Google Hangouts and through a web page. But we decided to kind of try an innovative method and share some of the great information we're going to be sharing. So hope you enjoy, and I'd love to kind of get your feedback as well. Now, those of you who are on the computer, and you can follow on Twitter and Periscope at mbahara, the Twitter handle. So you'll be able to join. So we actually have about 5 minutes to get things kicked off here, and we will start on time. I promise you that. But let me kind of attend to the chat box over here. Please go ahead and mention your name and where you logging in from on the chat area. And would you please also confirm on the webinar? And when I say the webinar, I'm referring to if you're viewing this on your computer. So for that purpose, we're going to refer to the webinar and Periscope. How about that? Would you please confirm if you're able to hear me properly and able to see me on the video? That will be great. Okay, while we are waiting, for a few minutes, please, one more housekeeping thing, if you will. as we are about to get started, please take a moment to tweet it and share it with someone, whatever the most effective way is. If it's a tweet, it's a holler, it's an email, or calling on the phone, to someone who might benefit from this information that we are going to share. And we're going to be sharing a lot of good information about restaurant marketing, how to grow the business, and all the related topic. So it's going to be exciting, and I promise to give you my best. So if you have anyone who might be interested and you think might benefit from this information, go ahead and tweet it for them. Okay. We have exactly 3 minutes to go, and let me kind of ask, on Periscope, where are you joining us from? Maybe I have a couple of people joining there. So where you're joining from, and also I'm going to ask on the chat box, Chef Amy, tell us about your business. Obviously, you're a chef, so in the restaurant business, tell us, what's your concept, what's your specialty. As we are waiting, just get to know a little bit better. Okay, we have Think Color. Hi from Buffalo, New York. I didn't get the name there. Okay, we do have on that's from the Periscope. We do have RG, owner of Buffalo Food Truck, West Yellowstone, Montana. That's fantastic. So welcome again. Tell us, maybe if you could share with us what concept you're working on, that will be fantastic. Okay. Great. We are just about ready to get started. So what I'm going to do is, I promised you we're going to start, at the hour. We have exactly a minute or so here to go. I'm going to begin to switch over to the presentation and confirm that you're able to see all that, and we will start on time. So I'm doing my screen share. Okay. Okay, great. If you could please confirm, I just put up the presentation on the webinar, and also I am, we have switched over on Periscope. So if you would please say yay when you get to see the presentation. I know there is a slight delay on the webinar, so I'll wait for a yes from you before we get things rolling. And on Periscope as well, we're going to be talking about great, yes, absolutely, a vegetarian vegan restaurant. So we have somebody owning a vegetarian restaurant. So welcome again, and I promise to share a lot of good details with you. On chat, would you please, when you have a moment, to say yes when you are seeing my screen, the presentation which we have on right now. Okay, great. I am sincerely hoping that you're able to see that. Great. Thank you, Amy. Confirm. Okay, on Periscope, confirm. So let's get rolling. This is 3 o'clock, and I promise to respect your time. We're going to get going. Okay. Great. Welcome everyone again. Glad you're able to join us today. My name is Mano Behera. I'm speaking to you live from Chicago on May 4th, Monday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Today, I'm going to reveal my 7 easy-to-implement restaurant marketing strategies to grow revenue by 20% or more, thanks to digital. In this presentation, I'm going to give you a lot of ideas on how you can grow your business leveraging digital marketing and emerging technologies, those technologies that are coming up new. So get your pens and pads out and let's get down to business, okay? Please take notes because there's a lot of information, and we will be going through a lot of different ideas. Okay, great. First things, we need to kind of set the stage. Who is this webinar for? Definitely, we want people to value. Now we value everybody's time. So, well, this webinar is for you. Okay, if you are a restaurant owner and you just open your new restaurant within the last few months or over the last year, so now you're looking to establish the business, grow the business, and compete in the local area. Well, using the digital strategies I'm going to share with you, you'll be able to do that very effectively. So please stick around, okay? If you're planning on opening a new location soon, I see somebody in the chat mentioning about starting a new business. So you can have, you would target to have a very successful grand opening and create a big buzz in your local community. And you can do that using some of the strategies we will be discussing today, okay? Now, this webinar is also for, if you are a restaurant owner running an established business for 5, 15, 25 plus years, and you're thinking about expanding your business to a new market segment, or remain competitive in your local area. Now, using the information I'm going to share with you and some of the strategies, you'll be exactly able to do that, okay? Now, if you are a general manager, now you are managing a restaurant, and you're beginning to see new competition come up, or almost helplessly watching your big chain competition, the Starbucks and the Paneras and the McDonald's, they're investing heavily on advertising and digital, and you're unable to do that and you feel helpless. I'll show you how you can effectively reach and engage with your customers, and with a smart budget, okay? So I'm going to show you that. Now, if you're a marketing manager and you have a deal, and you have to deal with your ad budget that is possibly shrinking, or wondering how to deal with all the new technologies that is coming up so soon, now you can maximize the return on your marketing budget, or incorporate some of the new digital strategies into your restaurant marketing plan, okay? I'm going to show you how you can have a clear marketing plan for your business, okay? Now, if you're also a digital manager and want to know what digital strategies are working for the restaurant in 2015, and you're in the right place, okay? So you will be able to take away effective digital strategies that is actually working to incorporate into your digital plan, okay? So can I kind of hear a yes, either here on Periscope or on the chat, if this is for you, if this sounds relevant to you, and well, who is this not for, okay? Well, if you are not connected or associated with the restaurant in any way, shape, or form, and really not interested in growing the restaurant business or connected with restaurant marketing, I hear a yes from RG. Thanks. Okay, great. So this is probably not for you, okay? I'll save you the next 60 minutes, your time is better worth. But, as I described, if you are connected, with the restaurant industry, now this time will be worth it. And that is my promise to you, okay? Now, I will be hanging out, a bit longer, but stick around. And now we're going to take the next 60 minutes and share a lot of good information. Thank you, Amy, for saying yes there, okay? And we will have Q&A time at the end, so stick around, but one of the things I want to mention is, if you do have any questions, please go ahead and drop it in the chat area, because as I mentioned, there's a slight delay for it to come through. So it would be better as some questions come up, please drop them so I can pick it up, and if it is relevant in the discussion as I'm having, I'll love to cover that, and definitely we'll cover that in the end, okay? So with that, let's get rolling, okay? So the next is, let's talk about, okay, so this is, I want you to get a sense of, like, clients are saying about us. Your services have been great help for us. You've done a wonderful job and done it quickly and efficiently. Now I wanted to kind of catch the word efficiently and quickly. Now we're working with, I come from and I'll talk about myself a little bit. I come from a corporate background, but today as I'm working with independent restaurants, okay, you got to be efficient, you got to act fast, you're going to make, got to make a difference. So that's what we do, and this is one of our clients saying that. And what does it mean? Let me show you, like, a case study. Okay, this particular client, talking about, they have been in business for 25 years. Okay, they are a restaurant and catering business. When we had the initial conversation with this client, their website had not been updated, and there are broken links, outdated. Basically, the website was not working, and this business was trying to get their website updated, and it was, it's been over 5 months dealing with the two other digital agencies. So when we had this conversation, this was before the holidays, and it was very, very important for them to have a website up, especially with their catering business. So we had to act fast. We actually were able to put up their basic website up within 48 hours. And I'm going to show you some results there. But now I want to point you that, our philosophy is, to kind of, do the important things first, and do it right and do it quick, so that we are making a difference for the business. Okay, so here, so let me kind of show you what kind of results we were able to achieve. All right, so this was over the holidays, and then over the last few months. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details, but point you to kind of what difference we have made. Okay, page views 1930 or 2000 page views per month, users about 650 per month. That means you're having about 25 users visiting your website. And not only that, what is the most important thing is you're having a bounce rate. It's a technical term, but what it means is when visitors come to your website, are they staying or are they leaving? All right, so a lower bounce rate is what is desirable, and anything below 50 is good, and around 30 is extremely good. So we were able to achieve that, 37%, 37.09, and the new sessions of 73. So what this means is, if I were to summarize without going to a whole lot of data details here, we were able to put up an online presence, where the customers and potential customers are able to come to this website and be engaged, and translating into and makes a difference for the business. Okay, so just want to give you an example of how we work. Not necessarily we are hung up on designing really cool and with a lot of stuff, but it's about what is your digital strategy and is it working for your business. Okay, so let's move on. Now this testimonial is really wordy, but it has a lot of important things, and it kind of ties to the strategy as well. So we're going to take a quick minute here to kind of talk about what this client is talking about. I mean, is saying about their integrated digital strategy. Okay, so when we so this is what they have to say. We did not have a website. We wanted someone looking at a restaurant to find the place and look up the menu. Since having the website online and adding online ordering, the results have been excellent over the last 3 months. Carry out orders has increased a lot. We do not get any that many phone calls about basic information about our restaurant, like hours, menus, because they can find this information on our newly designed website that is simple, easy, and friendly. Okay, that is the key thing, right? So your online presence has to be working for you. Okay, and further going on further, now we are very happy with your service, and they're referring to us, and we appreciate that. And other digital companies tell you they need 3 months for a website. For your company, it just took 3 days. Yeah, absolutely, because this client went through the holidays without a website, and it cost them thousands of dollars, multiples of thousands of dollars every month not having a website. So it was important for us to get them online. So they are happy with the services. And continuing on, we highly recommend your services to anyone. It gets done quick. That's the bottom line. And here's a very important note about the business. In this business, you do not want to wait 3 or 4 months. It will cost you a lot of money. The technology needs to be there sooner to get the traffic to the website and the business. Okay, so there is a thread over there. Okay, I want you to catch, because we want to make sure that we are implementing things that is working for the business. Okay, and then finally the next step is generally customers, and this was one of the approaches, and we'll be talking about this thing, about this particular point later on, but I wanted to get the sense of it here. Generally customers feel uncomfortable when asked for their email address using postcards, or cards, right, to fill out paper cards. By handing the guest checkout tablet to our customers during checkout, we will be seeing some much better success. Okay, and this is a Mexican restaurant here in the Chicago suburbs, and we help them. Now, why do I share this thing? Because there are some very, very important things, and I don't have in particular order, but the key thing is, again, I keep on repeating, is you got to have an effective digital strategy. You got to have an integrated strategy, and you got to, plain and simple, have your digital really working for your business. Okay, and you'll see that in the webinar. And regarding this particular guest checkout tablet, don't worry, we'll be talking more if you didn't quite catch it, but we'll be talking as in one of the 7 strategies, as a matter of fact. Okay, so let's move on. So just give me a quick yay, nay on the chat. Is it making sense? Is it kind of along the lines of what will be your expectation? So please say that will be great, so that I know that you're tracking with me. Okay, I'm going to move on here. Great. So for this particular client, I'm going to give you some example here. So we ran Facebook ads. And now just let me back up for a second here. Okay. So for this client, we integrated digital strategy involved getting them online on the website, adding online ordering, and to have a successful online ordering, we ran some Facebook ads to kind of from a brand visibility standpoint, because typically Mexican restaurants, not many offer online ordering and delivery for them. It's quite expected from a pizza restaurants, for example, but not Mexican food, right? So that was kind of unique. So we ran a Facebook ad, and we introduced tablets all within about 90 days. So so here is an example of how we use Facebook ads for $10 a day. We're running it for within 10-mile radius, targeted at within 10 miles. We were able to reach 11,000 people, and our primary goal was to reach people, to let them know that this restaurant is offering online ordering and delivery. Okay, our goal was not even to get the clicks, but nevertheless we got the 239 clicks over there, and 450. So from the traffic results, you're looking at 450 users, 73% are new, and about 50%, less than 50% bounce rate. Okay, so again, an integrated digital strategy over a 60 to 90 day period, and now we're beginning to kind of move the needle, if you will. Okay. Okay, so let me move on to the next. Okay, great. So here are the results from the previous slide. Okay, page views, users, bounce rate, okay, and new sessions, as I just discussed. Okay, and I keep on saying about the bounce rate, but the important thing is to keep it less than 50%, and we're working towards it and driving toward 30%. And what it means is, and I'll take a pause and mention this. A lot of business owners and restaurant owners and people in general, there's a lot of myth about websites, and we think that it needs to be all cool with a lot of graphics and it looks beautiful, which is no doubt true, right? It needs to look good, but the most important thing is the website working for your business? In other words, is your website helping drive the business, whether it be customers, whether it be traffic to your business? If it's not doing that, then the pretty website is really a waste of investment and time, right? So that's our focus is. When we kind of work with our clients, yes, we do create a really amazing website, but that's not our focus. Our focus is to as soon as possible make the website work for the restaurant in this case. Okay, so okay, great. So what do we do is, as a company, we are focused on restaurants and restaurants only. We are a digital agency for restaurants. That's it. We are not a general purpose digital agency. That's why we're able to focus on building this platform for restaurants so we can provide the greatest value. And so this is becoming the marketing platform of choice for independent restaurants. And here are some of the things we do, helping restaurants with effective online presence through website, local presence, online ordering, and so on and so forth. And but more importantly, helping implement an integrated digital strategy. Okay, the integrated digital strategy is important. So looking at it holistically and ensuring that this thing is working for your business. Okay, so let's move on. A quick introduction of me. Some of you don't, most of you probably don't know me. So here's a quick introduction. I promise to keep it quick. Grew up in the eastern part of India, and as I was finishing college, I knew I was going to pursue my dream of being an entrepreneur. So I decided, what better place in the world than America? So call me crazy, but I left everyone I knew at that point in my life, family, friends, and took a flight halfway around the world from New Delhi to America, right? I did not know a single person here. Scary. But I guess if the dream is big enough, the facts don't matter, I guess. Okay, so that was 22 years ago. Okay, I want to take a pause, and now let me ask you: did anyone have to make such a big move or make a big sacrifice, just because you wanted to pursue your dream and passion? I'd love to hear that on a chat, or if you haven't, that's fine. You don't have to make a big sacrifice for anything. But I'm curious if you have done that. I'd love to kind of hear that on the chat. Okay, while I wait for there, I want to make the best use of time here. Okay, great. So what I did is landed here in the University of Miami in Coral Gables, Florida. I believe Chef Amy is from Tampa, Florida, not far from you. Home of the Miami Hurricanes. Graduated with a master's degree in biomedical engineering. Okay, and then basically got an offer to work for a startup company, because that was to get into entrepreneurship and startup. Packed bags and moved to Chicago. Well, the funny thing is, I say funny now, the only snow I had seen at that point in my life was on TV and Bollywood movies. So and I was in for a big surprise when I landed in Chicago, and cold and windy. But anyways, I love this place. Lived here for many years, and currently live with my wife and 3 boys here in the suburbs of Chicago. Okay, so. And then basically I've been involved from work perspective, involved with a few startups, and have also consulted with various Fortune 500 companies. Okay, involved with technology, innovation, strategy at General Motors, Harley Davidson, companies like, and McDonald's, right? So interestingly, I was on one hand, as part of the technology strategy team at McDonald's, was helping implement technology, across 30,000 restaurants worldwide. And on the other hand, I closely observe many independent restaurants in the local community, and friends and family, who owned restaurants around the country. So they were working hard with the day-to-day running of the business. But as they were trying to grow the business, they were not either leveraging the digital platform at all, or doing it poorly. So when it came to the digital plan, it was pretty much a website, a Facebook page, and running a Groupon deal, right? So website was static, it was not engaging, and for sure was not helping drive the revenue of the business. Now Facebook page is again, sort of one-way communication, with daily postings of lunch specials and dinner specials, but having a trouble really driving that engagement, right? And the Groupon story, was very ill-designed, and not really producing the results these folks are hoping for. So the overall the digital plan was very disintegrated, not aligned to the business goals. So now, and I was working for these big companies, and I saw that these companies like Starbucks, Panera, McDonald's, they were literally pouring millions towards implementing digital in the restaurants, right? But for independent restaurants, they did not either have the in-house expertise or the big budgets to leverage digital, right? So, but the interesting thing, another interesting thing is there is an advantage independent restaurants have, and you should feel good about if you are one unit, a couple of units, you should feel good about. Now, one of the things is they are nimble and can be agile. What do I mean by that is the advantage for smaller and independent small chain restaurants have is it is very easy. It is easy to create and align your digital plan to your business goals, right? When I say easy means, being a small business, you have decision makers, you can make quick decisions quicker, right? And another thing which I think also is an advantage is you can try, fail, fail, learn, adjust faster, and move towards success, right? Now, for larger corporations, any kind of planning cycle is either a year or multi-year projects, right? And transformation, I used to work on transformation initiatives which are typically like 5 years. Right? Well, independent restaurants and the small businesses can actually have 90-day plans, and we'll be talking more about it. And it doesn't take big budget to enable digital. Do you remember the example I showed you where for $10 a day, we were able to reach over 11,000 people within a 10-mile radius locally and get, clicks to your restaurant. So things like that, it doesn't require big budgets. It's just about, using the smart digital platform, okay? So I believe small businesses and independent restaurants actually have an advantage here, okay? So, and I'm excited about that. So what I did is, so I decided I was going to get involved with enabling restaurants digitally. And so in early 2014, I left corporate, and after over 10 years being in McDonald's, and founded the digital restaurant. So with the focus, with the sole focus of helping restaurants succeed, leveraging the digital platform. Okay, so that's my story in a nutshell. And so what we have is the digital restaurant is a digital agency for restaurants, which providing full service and done for you services, consulting, and on-demand training courses, okay, to serve the restaurants. Now, so basically, let's get on to some of the goals, right? So now let me ask you, what is your number one goal as it relates to digital marketing? Okay, take a moment to pause and kind of think, what is your what are you trying to do? Please mention in the chat box below so I get a sense of what are your priorities. Is it revenue growth? Is it expansion, like we talked about earlier, to a new segment altogether? Maybe is it growing the brand awareness? Is it dealing with competition? So you will have the benefit the most from this webinar if you have clarity on this one thing, right? So love to kind of get some feedback from you. What is your number one goal as at this point of time when it relates to digital marketing? Okay, I know there's a delay, so I'm going to move on to, for the sake of time, but I'm going to catch your responses on the chat area. Okay, so the okay, great. Kavi mentions button seats. That's fantastic. So fill your empty tables. Now, on that thought, right? So I'm sure, if you have been running the business, you do have the data, right? About, your day parts, if you will, which days of the week are busy, which are not so busy. And, then, having clarity, if your weekends are busy and the Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays are not busy, or the lunch times are busy but not the evenings, or vice versa. Okay, so having that clarity is important. Okay, growing awareness, right? Maybe you're a new business and you want to be known. So those are some fantastic goals. You're building your brand, right, and growing the awareness that if you are not on Main Street, this is and some of my clients are not on Main Street, right, and how do you let people know that you are there, right? Your food is great, and you have great reviews from the people who visit you, but how do you actually scale up? So that is great. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so please let know other things as well. Now my next question to you is, what is your current state of digital as you are running your business, or right, what is your current state? So please state 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but one is really no online presence, or maybe you have a website, it is not doing anything. Two is you have a basic online presence. Third thing is, in addition to presence, you have some engagement with your customers through either your website or Facebook. Number 4 is you're actively actually running campaigns to attract new customers. And number 5 is, in addition to all of that, you run an active loyalty program, be it a loyalty program, and you possibly building a email subscriber base. So please state what state you are in right now. Okay, I'm going to move here, but I'm going to come back and see your responses. Okay, great. So now let's talk a little bit about digital, and this is, I'm going to go through very quickly. Now, in 2015, we don't need to talk about why digital is important, but nevertheless, this report, 2015 report by Infinite Dial, from Edison Research, okay, came out on March 4th, okay, and 0815. I'm just trying to see who is 0815, number 2. So you have an online presence right now. Okay, great, fantastic. 3 and 4. So you have some engagement, and you're probably running some kind of promotions to attract some guests. Fantastic. Great. So 2, 3, and 4 right in the middle. Good. So now let's I want to spend a quick minute here now. And this is probably academic, but it is very important also to understand. 70% own a smartphone, right? Think how you want to reach this 7 out of 10 people. People are now listening to internet radio in their homes and cars. So think a digital advertisement, okay? Internet radio, correct? 65% using Facebook, 43% are 12 to 24. They are on Instagram and other platforms, right? Podcasting is another new media. A lot of people are consuming podcasting, right? Because it's a much richer experience, and gives an on demand. I can choose what I want to based on my interest. Regarding perception of technology, 57 say it's a good thing, right? 15% say it's a bad thing. Watching videos and music online, 63% of all users, and 90% of 12 to 24-year-olds watch YouTube. Okay, I have a 5-year-old, he watches YouTube. I don't know how he gets onto it, but he watches all his favorite things on YouTube. Okay. Anyways, so it should not, this is not a surprise. It should not come as a surprise. Consumers are adopting digital technologies, spending more and more time on digital platforms, and consuming digital media at a faster rate. But the important question as a business we must ask is, do I have an effective digital plan? Is my digital plan helping my business connect with the digital consumers, engaging with them, and bringing them through my doors the first time and over again? Okay, so is the digital plan aligned to the business goals such as revenue, growth, and helping support it? Okay, so those are some very, very important questions. Okay, so now, okay, so here we are, our 7 strategies. But before I go into the 7 strategies, there are really 2 important things we need to do when it comes to the restaurant marketing plan. Okay, you need to assess, okay, where you are today to understand and position it. You have to do an assessment before you jump into executing strategies. You need to understand where, and you need to have an integrated digital plan, like I talked about before. So what does it mean? Let me quickly go. Assessment, you need to focus on starting with why. Now this is really the basic, right? The core belief, your core concept, if you will, of your business, right? Are you ethnic concept? Are you a healthy concept? Whatever it is, really your core belief, you got to understand that very well. Okay, then the next thing you need to do is really do a capabilities audit. Understand your own business, right? What business capabilities you have, and this becomes important, as you're thinking about other strategies, because there's some dependent, you got to have delivery if you have to add online ordering, just to give an example there. Okay, and then you got to do a perform what is called a SWOT analysis. And what it stands for is, your inherent strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? You got to really, have a good view of, like, where your business stands. Now this step is so important. Actually, we always start our engagement with each of our clients with this step, to better understand the current situation and how we can come in and serve them the best. Okay, so so an assessment is highly recommended. Second thing is, the integrated digital plan, and I'm not going to go to the details, but really it has, you have a goal, you have a strategies you choose, in the specific tactics, and then you track how your tactics are performing, and then you optimize it, because really, any new things, out of the gate performs as per your will, right? So you got to optimize, so you have to be able to track it. Okay, so that's the integrated digital plan. All the pieces need to be working together. Now let's get back to our 7 strategies. So assuming that, you have your assessment, and you're working towards an integrated digital plan, let's talk about what are those 7 strategies. Okay, so I'm going to share details on each strategy and how it helps you to grow, right? I'll also be able to go a little bit more details on number 4 and number 6. Okay, and we'll get to that. So let's jump it right into it. Number 1, okay, updating your online presence. Okay, so you already mentioned that, and Curvy mentioned 3, 4. So all of you have pretty much an online presence, but here are 3 things to keep in mind. Number 1, on April 21st, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, Google announced a mobile-friendly search algorithm update. Now, what it essentially means is, if your website is not mobile-friendly, Google will not consider you in search results. Okay, let me give an example. Let's say you are a steakhouse in Chicago. Now, people search for, when people search for steakhouse in Chicago in their browser, your restaurant website used to show up. Now with this update, if your website is not mobile friendly, it is not going to show up. Okay, so so it is important for you to kind of test. And what I want you to do is make a note of, in your Google browser, search for mobile friendly test. And there is a website by Google itself, where you can put in your restaurants or your business's URL, and it will give you the results whether it passes or fails. Okay, so I want you to do that after this webinar, right? To test if your website is mobile friendly. Number 2, be found online. It might seem so obvious here, but while you're at your browser, I want you to do a simple test again. If your business restaurant's name is Bob's, barbecue. Okay, now if you search the exact name of your business on Google, is your website going to be coming up as the number 1 result? Okay, if you get anything but your own website, then you have some work to do there. Okay, if Yelp comes up, or Urban Spoon comes up, or Facebook comes up, or something else comes up, that's not good, right? So so you got to be found online, and your website should need to come up. So things to consider over there. Number 3, website conversion. What I mean by that is, once people land on your website, is it converting? And we talked about this a little bit on on some of the client testimonials. The bounce rate, it needs to be below 50, and ideally be below 30, which means when visitors or potential customers are visiting your website, there is enough engaging content, right? It is easy to navigate, and whatever a website needs to be, to make for them, so that they're engaging with the website and hopefully making a decision to visit your restaurant. Okay, so website conversion, so if your website bounce rate is over 70-80%, just realize that you're putting off your visitors. Either they're landing for the wrong reasons, or they're landing there and are getting put off by whatever, maybe the page load, slow load time, or things like that. Okay. um, you must be thinking, oh boy, I need to update my website because it needs to be updated and fail a mobile test, and it seems like a big initiative. Well, and you must be thinking, Mano, I thought you said easy to implement, right, in your webinar topic. Well, here's a thought. A website upgrade need not be a 3 to 6 month project. It need not be, seriously. We have helped our clients get up and running, within 48 to 72 hours. And I don't just understand why it should be a 3 to 6 months project. And I run into once in a while, and I advise them, come on, in 3 to 6 months, you have any idea how many lost business customers are not finding you, and your potential loss of business. Okay, so it could be not whoever is maintaining your website, and certainly we can help if you choose to, and we'll talk about that later. But it can be updated, and everything I'm going to talk about is easy to implement. Okay, so that's that. Let's move on to the next, number 2, set up on local directories. Let me do a quick check of time. We are 35 minutes now. Okay, good. I'm running a little behind. I'm going to speed up a little bit. If set up on local directories. Okay, well, very simply put, okay, there are a lot of local directories your digital consumers are hanging out on those platforms. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are there as well when they're searching for you. Now there are hundreds of local platforms, and you'll not be able to update unless you pay somebody to do that for you. But on your own, I would say that you go for the top 5. Okay, Google My Business, right? Bing Places for Business, Yahoo Local Listing, Yelp, and Foursquare. Right, so this 5, if you do, these are the most common, especially for a restaurant platform. Now there are other platforms like Merchant Circle, Yellow Pages, Super Pages, MapQuest, Local.com. I will not worry about that right now, but I want to make sure that you have these 5 things. Your business listings show up there. Okay. Number 3, grow and nurture your customer email list. Frankly speaking, this topic I can speak for 4 hours or the whole day, because this is a very, very important topic. Simply put, your email list is one of your business assets. Okay, and like any asset, okay, if you grow and nurture it well, okay, that is a money maker. Okay, so having said that, why do I say that? Because your business, and the same note, okay, your business presence on Facebook, Yelp, or any other platform is not your asset. And believe it or not, it can actually change and go away without explanation. Okay, you must be aware that with all the changes happening with Facebook, and now every time you post something, less than 2%, and we'll talk about that later. So you have no control, because this is not your platform. You don't even own whatever you post on those things, including your pictures and stuff, right? So what you own is 2 things: your own website and your email list. So and it is an asset, like I talked about. Okay, right. So there are a couple of suggestions there. I put together 5 things over there. Very simple things to do. If your website, you need to whatever email list service provider you use, put a join email button or a form. Okay, so people can sign in. Typically, a lot of restaurants use feedback cards, right? Have been using for a long time. You can use that. Those are papers, and at the end of it, people can sign in. But we have a even better and effective. I'll talk about that in the next point. Actually, guest checkout tablets. Then, if you have a loyalty program, you capture the email addresses. If you have online ordering, then and if online ordering is offered on your website versus a Grubhub or other platforms, then you can capture these email addresses. Okay, so I showed you 4, but then the important thing is, once you capture the email address and you're growing your email subscriber list, okay, how do you nurture them? And how does then it becomes a truly income producing asset? Okay, and we've been talking about assets. Okay, so the way to do that is let me kind of mention what others are doing, that what I see others doing, even the big companies. uh, Email list, if you have subscribed to, I have subscribed to many, is all about promotions today. Okay, so as a matter of fact, my birthday is tomorrow, and I have been getting a deluge, a bunch of emails from all this restaurants I have subscribed, about all the specials about my birthday. That is great, but most of them are promotional emails. And what happens after a while, as a customer, as a consumer, if it is all about promotion, 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 I kind of mentally kind of block it out, and I either unsubscribe, put it in junk, or just ignore it. Okay, so what suffers then is the email open rates, which are really low. Now, what I have been advising my clients, and I work towards them, is really through email channel. It's a communication channel, is to nurture your customers, and the way to do that is to genuinely provide value. So I've come now, we have what is called the 3-1 formula, and the 3-1 stands for three times every three emails you send, valuable content, providing like recipes, how to's, and with absolutely no direct promotional message. And then the fourth email in the one could be a promotional message which is relevant, like Mother's Day is coming up. Okay, but you got to actually provide the value emails so that people are actually open to your emails, they're opening it, and they're actually interacting. So this is all about effective engagement. Now, when you do that, right, your email list can be as high as 50 to 60%, over 50%. Now, why is it so important? Now, imagine that if you send out some information about your business or a promotion, and you got a 50% open rate, imagine how does that bode for your business, compared to maybe today you're posting on Facebook and you get less than 2%, and Facebook wants you to pay, right, to boost your posts so that your fans can see your message. Okay, so understand that. So this is a very, very powerful. Email has been there for a long time, and it is perceived as something outdated, and like out of, it's like almost like email is not going anywhere. But you got to really, really know how to tap into the email. Okay, I am seriously late. I know we had only 3 points, and we are 42 minutes. Okay, so hopefully, I can, as I said, I can talk for hours on this thing, and we actually have email marketing programs where we exactly implement this thing, help them to create valuable content and relevant content around the various events to do that. Okay. Okay, good. So let's move on. Number 4 is guest checkout tablets. And this is one of the innovative approaches. Okay, let me show you guest checkout tablets. I have to now rush, and I apologize for that. But nevertheless, here's guest checkout tablets, innovative approach to guest engagement. Guest interacts for 5 minutes at the end of their dining experience. They capture the guest email and configure for additional functionality. But the key thing is, there is always a discomfort asking for customers' email address to the postcards or directly. Here, in a fun and engaging way, one of the 4 ways you are actually getting the customer's email, and we have implemented this with our restaurants locally, and we are seeing some tremendous success, right? And for example, we had a play to win, just Cinco de Mayo for this Mexican restaurant, which is May 5th, which is tomorrow. So we had, for the last few months, run a play to win trivia quiz through this tablet. So people are playing and answering these questions, and we announced the winner on May 1st, which is a couple of days before. And so it was a great engagement, and we are getting hundreds of emails collected through this process. And we don't have to have one tablet per restaurant. It's just 2 to 3 tablets for the entire restaurant, and the servers are actually handing them for 5 to 7 minutes, and and taking them back as they're running the credit cards and stuff. So amazing. We actually came up with this innovative approach, because frankly speaking, there was no tablet supplier like companies like Xeosk and other tablet companies which were ready to kind of serve these smaller independent restaurants. Okay, so
we said, okay, we have a challenge, and our team was innovative, and they're really smart. So they said, okay, let's create a solution, and it has worked wonderfully. Okay, and this solution is actually available for our clients, with engagement. Okay, uh, good. And these are some of the screens, how it looks like. Email sign up, play to win, as I showed, actual screens, actual screen snapshots, how it looks like on the tablet. Very easy to implement. Now, again, you must be saying, hey, this is a software developed by you. How can I do this? Well, very simple, easy to implement. Now, if you do have an email service provider, they most likely have an app, okay, on Android tablet, which you can install and configure to capture the email address. Obviously, it is not going to be 4 apps and the seamless experience which we have, but you can definitely get started capturing email addresses through a tablet on your restaurant. Okay. um, Next is online ordering and delivery. And based on your assessment, if you can add on the delivery capability, then you could add online ordering to your website. And really, this is directly to grow your business. Okay, if you're willing to, if you're ready to go on. And what approach we suggest, being on the 3 platforms. The 3 is, number 1 is your native platform, which is your own website with online ordering software, which has no commissions and fees. And then attract additional customers to the Grubhub and Seamless and Eat24 platforms, where you are present on those platforms, helping drive traffic, and of course with the commission that you pay to these companies. Okay. So another strategy to consider for growing your revenues, and we have seen this, right? 10 I mean, just example, 10 orders a day through online ordering, with the $50 per order, it's kind of like adding 500 per day, right? You add that for 300 days a year, you're looking at 150K per year. Simple calculations, but and it might be different for you, but you can do simple math and see how you can leverage this to grow your business. Okay. Number 6 is targeted Facebook ads. And I shared this, well, I mean, I shared an example with one of our client testimonials, but simply put, digital ads is now becoming much more effective than traditional ads. If you're spending as a business, hundreds and thousands, in some cases per month on traditional ads, you got to take a look at the digital ads and see how effective it is. And you can start small and test it and see how it is performing for you. Digital ads, are performing better because of the instant reach, right? Facebook ads you can set up, and you can target, and you can get it live almost within an hour, pretty much, right? You can target, as I mentioned. You can track your ads performance, right, and optimize them, so it provides a better ROI on marketing budget. And I shared with you an example earlier about with $10 a day what we did there, right? Reach about 11,000 people with a target market segment, right? So you can do similar things using digital ads. Okay. I'm not going to share. I think I shared with you this picture, but we were able to get these kinds of results using digital ads, right? Which is probably when you look at traditional methods, you can't even begin to do it, right? When you think about doing something, it'll probably take you weeks to months to even implement this within hours. You can implement around your events, specials, any kind of new things coming up. Okay, the last one is boy, I'm I'm going really fast. Is leveraging Foursquare for loyalty rewards, right? I didn't see any 5s. Okay, so this might be a good opportunity for you. If you don't have a loyalty program, how you can leverage Foursquare to work for you as a loyalty program. Okay, now what I particularly like about, apart from the fact that it is free, okay, it doesn't cost you a dime to implement this. The important fact is it provides you with a seamless experience, and guests are checking in on their phones. Now what I've seen is a lot of loyalty programs that are great, but kind of, the user has to go and register somewhere, get an account, download an app, and kind of, go through a lot of steps to be able to be participate here. A lot of users are using Foursquare. Nevertheless, all they do is check in, and you as a business owner can track their check-ins and reward them and recognize them. And there's a concept called your most frequent guests are called mayors, right? So whoever the mayors are the most frequent guests, and they get recognized, they get some badge, so you can have a very neat loyalty program, and through the Foursquare platform. Okay, so I hope okay, so we went there fast. Anybody has any question? I'm going to actually take a swig of water before I kind of summarize this thing. Please drop your questions. How was the 7 strategies? Did anything make sense? Do you think you can use any one of them for your particular case? Okay, so let's summarize what we covered so far. Okay, and we talked about conducting an assessment, right? First, to have a good understanding, and then once you have an assessment, you do the 7. You look at the 7 marketing strategies, right? Online presence, local directories, building your customer email list, right? Guest, possibly consider tablets to use to capture the emails, and online ordering and delivery, Facebook ads, and consider Foursquare for your loyalty program. Now, finally, taking all this assessment and your strategies, you come up with an integrated digital plan for your business. Now, incorporating this marketing strategies in your marketing plan. Okay, so typically what we recommend is, obviously, you can go and implement all the 7, but segment it over the next 90 days and long term, that you can execute to accomplish those goals that you have set, and for yourself. Okay, now when you leave this webinar, right, you will have received a lot more of great information from me. But if you haven't done this before, it can be a bit overwhelming, right? So if it is okay, can I show you a really fast and easy way to accelerate your success in digital marketing for your restaurant? Okay, so go ahead in the chat and mention that, any other feedback you have. So let me kind of introduce you to the Digital 360 strategy session. Okay, what is the Digital 360 strategy session? Well, we created this offer, right, to get your digital marketing plan started to support your growth goals, boost your digital marketing plan to support your goals for better success. Okay, we'll help you to determine your restaurant marketing focus, where it should be in one or more of the focus areas. Like we talked about, should it be on the presence, right, your business presence, or engagement, or attracting new customers, or retaining, right? What are the 7 strategies to implement, right? Should you do all the 7, some of it now, some later, and then really coming up with a 90-day game plan, right? It is simply a plan of how to go and execute your project. Okay, so this is your chance for you to engage with us after this webinar. Okay, so let's talk about what is included in the package very quickly. So I don't need to talk about assessment. What the importance of assessment is, but our expert team, actually a digital consultant, does this audit of your restaurant systems, and and then we perform a SWOT analysis, strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And let me give you an idea of how this looks like. We do actually a 21-point audit, so pretty detailed, all right, to have a clear understanding of your business when it comes to supporting your digital marketing plans. For example, I'll give an example which kind of clarifies here. If you're planning on adding online ordering, right, the question you must ask is, does your POS system support online ordering integration, right? Do you have an online payment gateway to be able to receive online payments? So things like that. So there's a lot of dependencies, if you will, and you want to do an audit to assess the business capabilities. Okay, so so what are those? Like POS system, ordering, fulfillment, delivery, cashless, menu, people, scheduling, inventory, nutrition, and your traditional marketing as well. Okay, then we take a look at your target market. Who is your customer base, your customer demographics, and per that, it's it matters, because your messaging has to resonate with this group, right? So understanding the demographics, then your competition, and then taking a look at your transactional data and analyzing, as you mentioned, Kavi mentioned butts and seats, right? And so you want to know from the data, right, what are the empty tables, what day part, empty tables, so you can actually target those through promotions or other strategies, correct? So all this, we do an audit, right? Then we perform a SWOT analysis, right? Strengths, your weaknesses, right? Strengths, what you should be leveraging, what are your strengths, what are you known for in the market? Weaknesses, to make sure that we are managing some of those risks. Opportunities, maybe you already have identified opportunities that we should incorporate, and the threats, right, we need to tackle through our digital plan. So finally, you want to take a look at what your business targets are, what is reasonable, what we can handle. So in other words, doing this 21-point audit, you as the business owner or manager, all right, you have a really good understanding of your in-house, where your business is positioned and how you can actually leverage the future. Okay. So what we do is, after this assessment, we produce a report for you. So this is very valuable report for you, and we deliver this report to you. Okay. And then the next thing is, number 2 is a digital plan. So we did the assessment. Now it's about the plan. So we create a custom digital roadmap, which is sort of like a nice 11/17 poster, and you can stick it in the your office, in the restaurant, if you will. But in addition to that, we also create a 90-day digital plan to implement. So this is a project plan of all the things we talked about. And now this is like execution focused, right? Project planning. Okay. So all these things we deliver through this package. So now what happens here is, with the assessment and plan on hand, you're ready to implement either on your own, right? Or you can get this plan to your digital team. If you have a team who is handling this, right, a team or person, or even a third-party vendor who is doing your website or managing other people, you can actually take this plan and say, hey, that we would like to implement this. So involve them during the strategy session. Okay. But if you also want to further engage with our team, we will be happy to do so, right? So that's what we do for our clients. Okay, we are more than happy to do that. Okay. So here's here's what it is. It is like $297 for the strategy session, all the things we talked about. And now the reason we have kept it low to offer an opportunity to engage with us further after this webinar. That's really the thing. Now we have a chance to work together at a low level, and then hopefully we in the future we'll be able to work on bigger projects, if you will, right? And we have intentionally removed any pricing barrier. Okay. And as I said, we are hoping, we're sincerely hoping for a long-term relationship past the strategy session through our full service, done for you services and digital consulting, like we have done for, I gave some examples earlier in the webinar. Okay. And Facebook advertising and other digital services. Okay. And since we are a digital agency serving restaurants and restaurants only, our services and solutions are best optimized and better than general digital agencies out there. Okay. Now the value you're actually getting for the assessment and the custom roadmap, it's right, the 21-point audit, the report, the roadmap, the plan, right? It's the assessment itself, it's 4-hour value for our one of our digital experts, and is going to do that, either through face-to-face meeting if you are located locally, or over video conference. If you add all of that, that's over $1,500 minimum. Okay, so you're actually getting really great value over there. Okay, now if we and we're seriously hoping for that, if you after the strategy session, you want to engage with us, right, so that 297 will be applied to the discount, right, to the future pricing. Okay, now if you do not engage further, that is perfectly okay as well. You can take the plan we developed through the strategy session and run with it. You will have access to us via email, right? And we would we will be reasonably following up with you to ensure that the plan we just developed is working for you. Okay, so so there is a yellow button below to sign up. Okay, if you have any issues, contact us through the email, but it should be straightforward. Now, what happens after the sign up? You'll receive a confirmation and email with steps to schedule our strategy session. Right, and as I said, it could be locally. We'll love to do a visit to the restaurant if it is we have a lot of long distance clients across the country, so we have video conferences and Skypes, and we have set up. It will be much as effective. Okay, so typically what happens is after today, and once you complete these sign up there, within 2 weeks, okay, we will schedule depending upon our schedules. It need not take 2 weeks, but it is upon your schedule and our schedule for arrange for a 90-minute session. Okay, and then after the session is done, we will deliver the 3 assets we talked about: the assessment report, the roadmap, and 90-day plan within 2 weeks of that. So within maximum of 3 to 4 weeks maximum, and I say this is maximum, you are having a really a good digital plan for you to execute. Okay, and obviously if you further wish to engage, we actually are completing the first portion of the of our engagement. I mean, we're getting a head start, if you will, have a good understanding, and we can begin to quickly implement and drive the move the needle, if you will. Okay, so hope okay, so we are at the end of it. Okay, in the question and answer session. Now I'm going to take some questions. Okay, I've been speaking a lot for the last 1 hour, so I'm going to stop now and take some questions now. So feel free to again drop it in the chat box, and we are at the hour here as well. But I'm going to be hanging around to answer any questions you have, right? But it is a pleasure to talk to you today. Okay, one of the questions that came up is should I be buying an email list? And the short answer is really no. Okay, first of all, it serves no good, because it's a wastage of money. And really, it doesn't really work that well. You want to organically, you want to know your customers, right? So as customers are visiting your restaurant, you want to capture their email addresses so you can further engage with them. So my answer is no. 99.9% of the time, it is no use to buy an email list from external sources. Any questions on the chat area? Please drop them there. Another question I'm getting through Periscope is when is the right time to put a digital plan? We are opening a new business, and when is the right time to put a digital plan? So I talked about 3 scenarios. Typically, we have something called a grand opening playbook, digital playbook. And typically, 6 to 8 weeks before the grand opening day, we launch a digital campaign to create the buzz and the conversation. And the idea there is you want to create this initial 500, let's say, customers And I don't call them customers, I call them actually partners, because what you're going to be doing is, once you really, through social media, and we have a whole playbook as I mentioned, you want to actually, seek their feedback, and turn them into partners. Now things like, hey, we are opening, in 2 months, I'd love to get your feedback, on our menu. This is what we are planning, right? Do you have any, what would you like to have, if it is a Mexican food, what would you like to have? So as you're asking questions, these customers actually now feel part of you, and they're going to root for you, they're going to promote you, and it's a very, very powerful thing, right? Instead of, so we recommend that you start on your campaign before, ideally. Now if you're already, a launch, and you didn't, do anything, because typically one of the biggest mistakes I see is restaurants, when they're opening a new business, they kind of deal with the digital aspect as an afterthought. Like, okay, let me, I'm busy opening the restaurant, there's a lot of work to do, and I'll think about my website and digital, after I have launched the business. Big mistake, I feel, because you're missing a big portion of, getting the right launch for your business. 6 to 8 weeks before you launch, you don't have to develop a website, just to I'm sure you know a name. You register your URL, and start to engage with people, build your email list, and start. It's a beautiful thing. But the day of opening, you have 100, 200, 300, or 500 people actually who are who are your partners, if you will, right? Partners in the sense, they're rooting for you because you asked them, you sought their feedback. Okay, so in a short answer is, as soon as possible. If your opening is within the next 2 months, you should get started on your digital plan, and let us know. We can be able to help and share, and share a playbook with you. Okay. Okay. Groupon, there's a question about Groupon. Right. You know what? The short, we ran a Groupon and it did not work for us. I don't want to, but this is a common story I've heard over and over again. Because first of all, it's many people don't understand what this means. And a Groupon as a platform is very huge. 30 million, mostly young women, right? If that's your demographic, that's a great platform to leverage. But Groupon has to be done right. Okay, now what I'm going to recommend is, in my on my website, thedigitalrestaurant.com, you will find a restaurant checklist on Groupon, and where I lay out 7 strategies to make run a successful Groupon. Okay, so you can download that. And obviously I don't have the time here to talk about it, but the bottom line is, it has to be an integrated plan. The reason why Groupon fails for a lot of restaurants is, they run this promotion, people come and avail this promotion, and that's it. And the business doesn't have a way to kind of get in touch with this Groupon customers, right? The key is really, really bringing these customers back. And one key strategy is to use email marketing for that. And upselling strategies are also another one. So I have a resource on my website. Feel free to download that. And if you're considering Groupon, it's a must read before you sign the deal for that. Okay. Any other questions on the chat? Oh, how do I increase engagement on Facebook? Oh, I can spend an hour on that. Not hour, but it's going to take some time. But I mean, I'm just going to say that Facebook, engagement has been, organic reach has been decreasing to less than 2% today. So it's frustrating, and they want you to pay because they're a business. They want you to pay to play. So that is one of the reasons why we have been advocating email. Once you have an email, it is free, almost free, to be able to communicate with your customers. So there are things, as a matter of fact, on my website or blog, I've written an article how to increase engagement on Facebook, and I've recommended some strategies about asking engaging questions, using images and videos, and providing value there as well, as a way to kind of increase engagement. But you should seriously consider email as the channel you want to increase your engagement with your customers. Okay. I think this is the last question that is coming up. Negative restaurant reviews on Yelp. Okay, well, how do we handle negative restaurant reviews on Yelp? First of all, there are two ways of approaching this, right? And if you have caught in the news, some of the restaurants really had a uh, negative psychology, if you will. They invited everybody to give them a low review, thus to undermine the review system, if that was the tactic over there. And the other one is really the honest approach. If you're getting a review, it's not necessarily bad, because you can use it as a feedback mechanism. But what should concern you is not the one-off negative review, but a trend in the reviews. Now, what do I mean by that is, right, if one person says bad about your food, it should not absolutely concern you. But if you look at a group of reviews which are pointing to maybe poor customer service, or maybe the food being cold, then that there is an issue which these reviews are uncovering for you. So you should be glad that they're uncovering, and it gives you a chance to kind of handle that. Okay, so it's not necessarily bad, but I won't really worry about one review, and it is impossible to meet everybody's expectations. So there is going to be, irrespective of how good you are and what your best intentions are, there is going to be some negative reviews. But as I said, all you have to watch for is the trends. If you see a trend forming, then those are the things you need to use as a positive feedback and make improvements in your business. The other ones, tactically, when you get a review on any of the platforms, and this is one of the things we do, is we do reputation management. We track all the platforms for a business, and anything comes up, we know immediately. And once something comes up, you respond to those reviews, good or bad, and honestly try to make it right. Okay, and so this I'll also kind of mention this, that this is where this guest checkout tablets has been amazing. The reason is there is a feedback app right there, and before even users have a chance to post it publicly, they are we are hopefully capturing their feedback right there, so we can respond to it immediately without it going on the public domain. So that has also worked as one of our strategies. So the tablet has helped us to prevent bad reviews showing up online, and really importantly, catching those feedback right away. Okay, which is very, very important for the business. Okay, great. I think with that we'll end. It was a pleasure talking to you all. Thanks for having being on this webinar. And if you have any questions, there should be a replay coming out shortly. If you missed something, then you can catch that. Otherwise, have a great day, and a pleasure speaking to you all.